Caffeine, if you look it up on the internet right now, you'll see that caffeine shuts oxygen flow and blood flow down to the brain by 20 to 30%. And that's a low ball estimate, but that's what you'll find on Google. And that's one of the big favorite effect is if you drink coffee, you deactivate and have a lot less blood flow and oxygen to what's called your prefrontal cortex, which is the part of your brain, the most evolved part of your brain just behind your forehead. It's the CEO and spiritual center of your mind. It's the morality center, and it's your ethics center. And if you haven't noticed, in today's day and age, there's a big gap in the morality and ethics rolling around. And this group knows this. They know this stuff. You don't know this stuff. You think that coffee's on your every corner because it's great, because you hear it's great. Now, who do you think's telling you it's good for your kidneys and good for your liver? And if you drink coffee, you live 5 years longer. Who do you think's organizing that for you? Who do you think owns Starbucks? Who do you think funded the purchase of
Oh,
Starbucks?
oh, I know. I think. I'm going to take a stab at it. I think it was bought, wasn't it bought a couple of years ago by Bill Gates?
It was bought and it was funded. It was bought by Howard Schultz. So there's always a front man. So Starbucks was a franchise in trouble in Seattle in 1986. It only had 6 shops. Howard Schultz was working for Starbucks at that time, wanted to buy it, and he didn't have the money. And there's a very odd story about the purchase, but Howard Schultz got the franchise, but he was funded by William Gates Sr. and Bill Gates Jr. And today, Starbucks has 45,000 shops. They're everywhere. There's a siren as the logo and symbol. A siren is a mythical maritime creature that draws sailors to their death by bringing them too close to the rocks. And this group loves the symbology because the symbology interacts with the subconscious. There's a minor terror campaign in the logo alone that the subconscious can pick up. And the subconscious knows the caffeine is poison. How do we know caffeine is poison? Is because it's known, and caffeine is known as what's called an alkaloid poison. It's used by the coffee plant and many other plants to kill bugs and to kill other competing foliage that grows around the caffeine producing plant. Caffeine kills things.
Is this similar to the oxalates? Are you familiar with
Yeah,
oxalate, high oxalate food? Is this what we're talking about in this situation?
caffeine is way worse than that. And this is why the blood flow is inhibited or shunted away from the prefrontal cortex, because your subconscious is smart enough to know that you don't want to put poison into your brain.
Uh, what happens when the blood leaves the prefrontal cortex? I've seen
Well, it,
studies 40% in most cases, which is very high.
well, you're going to become, it's a whole process. It's a change of brain function. So caffeine, given the body recognizes it as a poison, you have a fight or flight response. So the average person knows fight or flight response. Part of the fight or flight reaction is a inhibition of the prefrontal cortex, because you don't need the smartest part of your brain when you're in fight or flight, and an activation of what's called the limbic system or the reptilian brain, the hind brain, or the R complex. It's the dumbest part of the brain. So if I want you, say, to go participate in, say, a medical experiment, and I'm the ruler and I have nefarious agenda, this is just a hypothetical. I want you on caffeine because I want you in the limbic system, because the limbic system does not think long term. So I want you to think, I want to control your thinking through the chemical infusion of caffeine so that you say, I'll just go get that. I'll just go participate in the medical experiment.